There's just something magical about pixel art that makes it so much fun. Maybe it's because we've been making this type of art for thousands of years. Or maybe it's because every time you see an example of it, you're reminded of just how cool it is to build a larger image out of a bunch of tiny pieces. This week, we're working on a bigger project that will feature pixel art, so we're experimenting with a few ideas. We'll show you how we made these 3D printed stamps, and then we'll show you a free tool that anyone can use to make their own pixel art. We started by drawing a simple sketch of a 16 by 16 pixel grid in SOLIDWORKS for makers. For our project, we're going for an overall size of a 2.5-inch square. Then we chose a piece of pixel art and extruded a subset of the grid to match each of the colors. We added a standard base to each shape to give us something to hold onto and to help register each color in the same spot when we painted. After printing out the parts, we started experimenting with them. We used acrylic paint on plain white paper and were quickly reminded that the key to a good stamping is getting just the right amount of paint on the tool. The first few were way too heavy, and some ended up way too light, but we found a sweet spot and were happy with the results. After the black paint dried, we applied the red and green colors. I've got to admit, I was worried that a 3D print would be too rigid to act as a good stamp. I'm sure it would be better if the topmost layer were printed in a softer material, but for PLA, I'd say I'm really happy with the results, and I can't wait to apply it to the bigger project. If you want to make pixel art of your own, check out this free tool. It's called SOLIDWORKS Apps for Kids, but don't let the name fool you. You don't have to be a kid to use it to make cool stuff. To make pixel art, we'll start out in an app called Shape It. Much like you would in other block building tools, you can place a single block and then add to it by clicking on a face. You can use the mirror tool to add a bunch of blocks at a time. And then crease the whole body to give it that truly pixelated feel. If you shift over to the Style It app, you can then start to color the model. Set one color for the whole body, and then individually paint each of the faces. You're only limited by your imagination, so have fun with it. When you're done, shift over to the Print It app and consider printing your artwork as it is, or turn it into a color by number sheet. If you want to 3D print a stamp like we did, go back to Shape It and add a few more blocks to the front of your model. Then go back to Print It and save an STL for your printer. Whether you try one of these techniques, or you use Lego bricks or good old grid paper and colored pencils, we hope you enjoy the process of making pixel art. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on our next make.